Hello, family. This is your friend Kenesha, and welcome to another episode of Transformation Tuesday. This is an opportunity where we talk about how can we transform ourselves. Remember, the word transform means to make a thorough or dramatic change in character, form, or appearance. And then we broke the word transform down into two parts, trans, and the acronym is taking real people and navigating towards success. And form is forcing ourselves into radical metamorphosis or focusing on a right mindset. And so we just started last week a brand new series on crisis. That's right. How many of you know our world, this nation is in a crisis? But even deeper than that, our individual lives go into crises. Either we're in one, we just came out of one, or we're going into one. So here is our word for today. It is called control. Here's the definition of the word control. It says this: to determine the behavior or supervise the running of. So I thought instantly after this word control of Janet Jackson's song Control from 1986. And I was watching the video, and basically she was an adult but living in her parents' home, and they were just trying to control her. So she basically told them, hey, I'm moving out. And her father forbade her. And she finally just said, listen, I'm moving, I'm going. Why? Because she wanted control. And I'm going to read to you some of the lines in that song. It says this: this is a story about control. My control of what I say, control of what I do, and this time I'm going to do it my way. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I do. Are we ready? Then she says, she says, cause it's all about control. And she said, and I've got lots of it. Then she says, when I was 17, I did what people told me. Did what my father said. I let my mother mold me. But that was a long time ago. And then she says, I'm in control, never going to stop. Control to get what I want. Control, I like to have a lot. Control, now I'm all grown up. And then you can continue to look at the lyrics. And it's all about this notion of control. So how does that connect to crises? Our specific thought for today is, don't let this crisis control you. You heard me. Don't let COVID-19, don't let racial unrest, don't let political shenanigans control you. We're not going to do that. So here's an article that I read, and this is by Kevin Moto. It says this: 6 ways to maintain control over life during a crisis. And we're just going to discuss 3. One of them is acceptance. What do we have to accept? The fact that there's some things that we have control over, and there's some things that we have absolutely no control over. So those things that we have no control over, we're going to have to accept the reality of them. I remember when I went through a divorce, and my spouse at the time walked out and then came back 5 months later, and within the next year walked out again. And this time it was permanently. I had no control over that. Can you believe I begged and begged and begged and begged and begged? Even up until 5 days before the divorce, I went over. And at that time, the girlfriend was there. I had no control over that. I begged, please don't let this divorce come through or go through. And it did anyway. So I had to go through this stage of acceptance. It was over. And because I could not control that, I had to now take control of myself. Here's another step. Attention to self. Self-care, and we talked about this a little bit last week, is critically important. I had to take hold of my mental well-being because the divorce, that crisis, was trying to take me out. And then the last one is an alternative perspective, that there was going to be a different end. So I had to tell myself, yes, Kenesha, you went through a divorce, but there's another ending. You are going to make it out of this. And boy, did I. And it's been over a decade, and I'm doing better than I ever have in my entire life. But that's because I had to accept it. I had to make sure that I paid attention to myself, my mental well-being, and I got an alternative perspective. So here's our question. How will you take control of yourself this week so that Whatever crisis you're in does not control you. Hey, I love you. This is your friend Kenesha. Let's make it out of this crisis alive. Have a great day.